Wake up, RipCity, because there are brighter days ahead for your Portland Trailblazers. They've lost 10 of their last 13, but looking ahead to the schedule, there's some easier games coming for Portland and hopefully some players coming back from injury too. This is the Wake Up RipCity podcast. I'm Alex Moore. Joined alongside me, it's Jay Gliss. Today on the show, we're going to talk about that upcoming schedule and kind of our expectations for the Blazers as they go into some easier games. But the main theme of today is going to be reflecting on our expectations for this season, specifically looking at what we thought the Blazers were going to be before the season started, and if we were able to talk to our past selves, if we would be happy with the outcome of this season so far. The Blazers at 9-15 through 24 games. All right, Gliss, you know how we start off every episode. We have to wake up on the right side of the bed. We stay away from all the negativity on the internet, at least for like 5 to 10 minutes while we talk about our positives. Before we get into our negatives, just so we can, make sure Blazer fans know they have something to be happy about, something that they can look forward to. So, Gliss, how are you doing today, man?
I'm doing good. It's another tough road trip, but it's a tough Western Conference. So,
absolutely. So, what's your wake up on the right side of the bed for today?
Yeah, I'm going to go with young Hansen. Just seeing him get the opportunity that his first big opportunity, I would say, in terms of he was really relied upon to come out and make an impact. And he had some tough moments, but it seemed like he started to get into the feel of the game in the second half. And it's just good to see him finally get an opportunity where you can kind of see the promise of what he could be with some experience and hard work and consistency and all that.
Absolutely. Of course, the Blazers lose to the Grizzlies 119-96. Young Hansen gets his first start against Memphis. And Gliss, I was frightened in that first quarter for Young. He got dropped into the deep end against Zach Edey, who is just such a great center. I love watching Zach Edey play. And I was so worried for Young. I was like, this is one of those moments where it's like it either makes you a man or you run away crying, basically, just seeing what was going to happen to Young. And it started bad. But, Young obviously had some good quality minutes in that second half, and it was exciting to see him kind of make some strides and some growth as a player. And like you said, that was his best kind of opportunity as an NBA player so far. So it was exciting to see him make those strides. One question for you on Young. Keep the bowl cut or nah?
Let's get rid of the bowl cut.
Absolutely. I kind of agree. I think there's a picture on our RipCity right now that's of him with a shaved head, and it's like that. That's like that's the business look. That's the fear
that's
Young
the one
look.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Gliss. For me, I'm gonna kind of take a step back and look at the overall picture of this Blazers team. If you look at the expectations that we had to begin this regular season, it was play-in. That was the overall goal. Right now, the Blazers sit in the 10 seed. That's the play-in. If you want to make it that cut and dry, then sure, the expectations are there. But I think after the first about 6 to 7 games, the expectations started to rise a little bit for this team. We saw kind of the potential of that starting 5 unit of Jeremy Grant off the bench. Shaedon had made some strides on the defensive side, and even though he had a slow start on the offensive side of the ball, started to string together, 20-point games, 30-point games. And so the expectations started to rise. As Blazer fans watching these games, especially a lot of these losses lately, the team has been very close in a lot of games to coming away with the victory, but they've fallen flat. So then that's how those expectations change, right? But we have to take the step back into context and perspective of what's going on with this team. And there's 2 major things that make this season what it's become. It's the schedule and it's the injuries. And I'm sure I sound like a broken record at times here, but it's just important to think about those things as we get into the perspective of why maybe, negativity isn't fair towards this team with their 9-15 record through 24 games. The schedule's been crazy difficult. Playing the Thunder 3 times before December, I think it was, is insane. That's one of the best regular season teams in NBA history. And I don't even have to wait to see if they win 70 games. I can tell you right now it is. And they're, I think, a couple wins away from matching the Warriors' start through 26 games of 25-1 when they went 73-9. So that's crazy. That as a whole element, the schedule's been wild, been very, very difficult. A lot of, what I would call scheduled losses on there. But the Blazers have turned some of those into wins. But even with that said, part of that equates to some of those 15 losses. And then beyond that, it's the injury aspect of all of this. This is a team that's dealing without that level of consistency that, an NBA roster can thrive on. Whether it's who's bringing the ball up the court. The Blazers don't have a player right now who can consistently bring the ball up the court and get them into their offense or calm the team down during a run from the opponent. The center rotation has been wild. Robert Williams doesn't play back-to-backs, has to sit some games. Klingen's been hurt. Young Hansen's getting into the groove of things. Duop Reith is hitting threes like usual, but, obviously has his struggles in other places. So when you combine the schedule and the injuries and just that lack of consistency, and then you look at the 9-20 or the 9-15 through 24 games, it starts to give you that perspective of, okay, is that the record that the Blazer fans would have wanted coming into the season through 24 games? Probably not. No, I would have been kind of disappointed at 9-15. I would have hoped maybe something closer to 500. But the fact of the matter is, with everything that's gone on and everything that the team's been through and the moments where we've been high and seen how good this team can be, 9-15 is, it's where we're at. It's not that bad. It's not that good. It's where we're at, at the end of the day. So my wake up on the right side of the bed is you got to take it at what it's worth, and you've got to put it into perspective of everything that's gone on this season.
Yeah, perspective is the key word there because, as you pointed out, it's just there's a lot of things that have kind of gone against them, and with any professional sports team, there's always going to be that element of, things falling into place somewhat. There's talent and there's, execution and all those things. But there's always going to be a little bit of luck involved too. And Portland just really hasn't had many things go their way in terms of health. The, ridiculous number of rotation, different guys starting and, some of the guys that, looking at the roster before the season, we probably would not have seen playing significant minutes in the rotation. So yeah, you put it in perspective and it's not ideal. I would say it's disappointing in terms of the record. But when you look at the bigger picture, given that they're still in the mix in the Western Conference, we're still reasonably early into the season. It's not the end of the world. It's this weird kind of gray area where it feels like they could have a couple more wins or probably should have a couple more wins. They've played in a lot of close games, a couple of them that they dropped, a few of them literally with time expiring. So yeah, it's disappointing, I would say, from my perspective in terms of the record, but it's not necessarily disappointing in terms of how we've seen them compete every night. They've put themselves in a position to win a lot of games. They just unfortunately haven't had the execution to win as many games as we probably would have hoped.
So, with that said, Gliss, let's look ahead to the upcoming schedule. This sounds
Better.
quite a bit easier than what we've seen. So, here, you want to hear the next 5 games?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we at least got like 4 out of 6 at home. I think coming up, something like that.
So, with the NBA Cup happenings, the Blazers get a
Right.
well-deserved break right now. I mean, Blazers play on Sunday, don't play again till Thursday. So, good break there. They take on the ailing Pelicans on Thursday, a team that the Blazers have already beaten this season. They get the Warriors at home on Sunday the 14th. So basically, they play one game in a week. I mean, from Sunday to Sunday, it's 3 games, but Thursday's the only game in between those 2 games. Take on the Warriors at home on Sunday. Then they get the Kings in a home and home. So two games against the Kings, one in Sacramento, one in Portland. Then they get the Pistons and the Magic, the Clippers, Celtics, Mavericks at home. So a nice little homestand going on after that. Those are all winnable games. None of those games are like, oh, that's a schedule loss, or that's going to be one that they can't we can't foresee them winning. Those are all winnable games. So now, with the roster the way it's at, I don't know if they're all winnable, but if you start to see some players come back, we start to see some consistency return. Maybe only a couple of guys on the injury report instead of like 7. Then then the schedule's looking a lot easier for these Blazers team.
Yeah, for sure. To your point, the schedule does lighten up a little bit. It feels like they've played a lot of road games the last 3 weeks in particular.
Yeah.
They had that, what was it, a 5-game trip and a lot of East Coast games, just coming off this 4-game trip as well. So, yeah, it looks like it's starting to look a little more in their favor. Winnable games. No Oklahoma City coming up anymore. So, and I guess
For a little bit.
Yeah, at least on the bright side, I guess they got most of those out of the way in the beginning of the season. But those are all winnable games, and not only winnable, but some of those games like the Warriors and the Kings, games that could serve them well to win later in the season when things do get a little tighter. And there is that kind of race to get into that top 10. So I'm excited. I'm still hopeful. I just want to see some guys get healthy and get back out on the court. I mean, that's the biggest thing. And I don't know how long we're going to have to wait to see some of these guys get out there. But I think in terms of the schedule, it's definitely looking a little brighter than it did, the first 25 games or so of the season.
And I've seen some stats thrown around, and maybe we can return to this in the next episode, but I've seen second easiest strength of schedule remaining. I've seen first easiest strength of schedule remaining. So I mean, it's not only just that the schedule looks easier, it's that actually it is a lot easier. They've the Blazers have got a lot of those difficult games out of the way. So there is a lot easier of a schedule coming, and for them to go through those games, like I said, with such a depleted roster is, on top of that, that's the cherry on the sundae, right? So
for sure.
So that's exciting. So that's the wake up on the right side of the bed. Do you have a wake up on the wrong side of the bed, or if we kind of covered it?
Yeah, I don't know if there's anything in particular. I mean, that was a tough road trip. I would have been content with winning 2 of those games. I think we even said that last week when we talked about it kind of looming. And I guess the biggest thing that's just kind of disappointing is that it felt like they had a chance to win, multiple games on that trip, and they let a couple slip away. So but again, that's kind of like that's kind of like a little bit of the overall picture. It kind of just highlights how this season has been, where it's been like they're in the games, they're competitive, and they just weren't able to pull it off at the end. So hopefully they can turn a corner there with some home games. It feels like it's a little easier in the NBA to kind of come through in some of those games when you have the crowd behind you, you have the momentum of being the home team and all that stuff. So yeah, more so than anything else, it's just the fact that they came away 1-3 on the road trip.
Definitely, definitely. All right, let's. We said that we do every episode from here on out. We do a Deni Advija All-Star update. Deni's numbers right now, he's averaging 25.8 points per game, 7.2 rebounds a game, and 6 assists a game. So Deni continuing to play, like the kind of the all-star that we've known him to become this season. Of course, he has a huge 35-point game at Detroit in that loss. In Cleveland, in the win, he scores 27, 8, and 7. And honestly, we're getting to a point now with Deni where the expectation is 25, 5, and 5, like at the minimum, it seems like, for Deni.
Yeah, and I think that's a big sign of what a star player looks like in the NBA is now defense. You brought up the fact that we don't know who's playing point guard. I mean, Deni's the one that has the ball in his hands a lot, and that's lately while teams are literally trying to get the ball out of his hands, and he's still putting up those kind of numbers. So I think that's kind of one of the big signs of making that transition and making that jump into a star level player is the fact that not only has he been putting up these numbers, but once that starts to happen, NBA defenses start to, kind of hone in on that and try to stop it. And he's still been just as productive the last couple weeks since he kind of had, this huge outburst of putting up these kind of ridiculous numbers. And, it feels like the general sense I get from watching the games the last week or so is the points part of his game is just like easy. Like it's an expectation that he will get to 25 points. And, so that part of it is, it's just kind of there. And the fact that he's still being able to put up the assist numbers and the rebound numbers to me is much more impressive because it doesn't really matter what defenses are throwing at him. He's finding ways to make an impact in every facet of the game offensively.
Yeah, the shot creation from Deni is absolutely insane. I think it's something that, was I didn't imagine he would have in his game at this point. And for him to have taken that leap at this is just like, wow. I mean, for him to be averaging this many assists per game, and we've talked about the expected assists as well. Like the shots he's creating are often wide open threes for this Blazers team, who unfortunately I believe is 29th in the league in 3-point percentage. So, It's just like he's creating a lot of shots for a team that doesn't have the shooters when they're healthy. This team isn't the best shooting team, and obviously they're not healthy right now. So that is a step that's just been amazing to watch. His ability to get into the paint is still just, I mean, you got to think these NBA teams are scouting him for it, and he's still doing it. So it's just like incredible to see, how his ability to attack the paint. It's just been so fun to watch, and his growth has been super exciting. I don't like some of the whining on all the calls. Like, I'm like, oh, Deni, just get back on D, man. He has the arms up all the time, and he's like, he's doing that thing all the time. Like, Deni, dude, like, okay, but I mean, I'm picking. I'm looking for something to be upset with, but the way he attacks the paint, he kind of earns the right to do that. I'm like, I can't get too angry at him. I have to forgive him for it. But
I was going to say that's another sign of a star player in the NBA.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah. It's, I don't mind it that much. I think I've just kind of become accustomed to it. You see all the star players, and not only star players, but a lot of guys, complaining after calls.
Yeah.
And he's a guy that's, definitely warrants that respect at this point. Like I said, the points part of his game is almost, it just seems easy. Like he could have 2 points at halftime and he's still going to end up with, 20 to 25 points because
Exactly.
he's doing so many other things offensively. And when he has the ball in his hands, like when he wants to get to the rim at 6'9", he's going to get to the rim and he's either going to score it. Just that's the other thing. I mean, everybody has seen it, but I don't think we've talked about enough. Just his creativity when he's at the basket is pretty insane. Like some of the ways that he is able to adjust and kind of time things out, almost. And we talked about this actually earlier in the year with Drew Holiday, who almost plays like he's a step ahead of everybody. And when Deni is on his way to the rim, he kind of has that to his game where it's like, it doesn't matter how many guys jump at him. There could be 2 defenders down there. It seems like he's going to find a way to either get around them somehow and get up a shot, or he's going to go to the free throw line.
Yeah, and he's got that deceleration too, like that has become such a popular way to attack the paint. You've seen Luka Doncic do that a lot when he attacks the paint, and Deni is a pro at it, one of the best. Absolutely amazing at slowing down in the paint, whether he's giving a pump fake, whether he's creating another shot for someone at the 3-point line or in the paint. So it's amazing to see, like you said, just his level of creativity inside the paint and attacking, and whether or not it's getting to the basket or what he's going to do with the ball is just super fun to watch, and it's super exciting to see him do that. And also, we'll get him to the free throw line, which we're hearing a lot about that too. I mean, at least I'm seeing a lot about it online of people being upset about Deni being a free throw merchant. But the thing for me about that is like, show me the receipts.
Yeah.
Where is there a play where he was not hacked? And,
and in fact, I think there's probably been several plays on this road trip where it was the opposite, where it felt like he had earned the respect where he should have gotten a call that he didn't.
Exactly.
And like what you're talking about, if people want to complain about it, that's one of those things that it does get. It's not the funnest thing to watch when a guy goes to the free throw line, a bunch of times. We've talked about SGA, James Harden in the past has been known for that. But at the same time, it's kind of one of those things like that is a legit skill, especially at this level. You're talking about the best players in the world. And the reason that he's going to the free throw line is because they can't stop him. So, I mean, there's 2 sides to that. Like, he's only ending up there because he's getting enough contact due to the fact that defenses, just can't stop him when he's headed towards the rim.
What I will say, Gliss, is this is a problem in the NBA this season. Free throws are way up compared to last year.
I don't like that.
And the Pistons game was horrific to watch at times. There was 84 free throws, I think, in the Pistons game. I didn't even realize it, but I was watching the game, and I was like, damn, it's late. That game took forever.
Yeah.
And when the free throws are having like that amount of impact that I'm sitting there watching the game for 3 hours, it's like, no, this is not the product that we want. This is not the product that we want to see. And I guess I have difficulty with it because like the Pistons game was obviously not well officiated, but there were, like Deni is a guy who gets to the free throw line. So it's like, I don't know if there's a fix to this, what they do, the NBA does to handle this, but it's like, the amount of free throws, it does make the product, like that's probably top of the list when it comes to making the product unwatchable. Is just having a free throw fest every night. So that part of it sucks.
Yeah, I agree with you. Again, I've never been a huge fan of that visually, but I do think it's a skill. Like there is certain guys that just have a knack for it because of the fact that they get so much attention defensively. So to his credit, I mean, he's getting to the line for a reason, but I do agree, like, in terms of, like, what do I want to watch? I don't really want to watch guys shoot free throws. I'd rather see them. I'd rather see more physical basketball if I had the choice. I was mostly a 90s kid, so that's kind of what I remember from, my childhood days is, you think about the Pistons and the New York Knicks and, the Bulls and all those teams and how physical they were. And they really let them play for the most part. And I like that style of basketball better. And I think it's even more fun when you combine it with kind of the free, kind of free and easy type of tempo that we see from a lot of teams today. So give me that instead of, guys, shooting that many free throws. And like you said, a East Coast tip, that's an afternoon tip here. And then it's getting dark outside and you're still sitting there watching them shoot free throws is not ideal.
Yeah, so hopefully the NBA will kind of start to fix that a little bit, and we'll see some less free throws in these games, because otherwise the basketball's been good. It's been fun to watch. It's a fun season like always. So obviously a lot of great storylines throughout the NBA and a lot of great storylines with this Blazers team too. All right, upcoming for the Blazers, like we said, it looks like the schedule takes a little bit of a positive turn. I guess we'll give you an update when we get back on the mics and let you know if it was positive or not. But the Blazers will take on the Pelicans on Thursday, Warriors on Sunday, and then 2 in a row against the Kings next Thursday and next Saturday. This has been the Wake Up RipCity podcast. We're appreciative of all the love on YouTube, man. Tons of comments on our last 2 videos. I do my best to reply to all of them. I appreciate the conversations back and forth. It's super fun with you guys, talking about the team, talking about Deni, talking about his all-star chances, and just talking basketball with people is so much fun. So keep the comments coming. And of course, you can always reach out to us. You can comment on the videos, subscribe, please. That would be fantastic on YouTube. I think we're going to put a lot more focus onto our YouTube videos now. And so, yeah, it's just been fun, Gliss. It's just been fun to see all the
door
reactions.
Policy.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right, this has been Wake Up RipCity. We're a weekly podcast. Like I said, subscribe to us on YouTube. Sometimes we'll do episodes a couple times a week. We'll drop after a game sometimes if Gliss and I are feeling it up to it. But for the most part, we'll be weekly. We'll be on Tuesday mornings for sure. And then sometimes we'll drop another episode every once in a while. So please subscribe to us, and we will see you next week.